this month is step 1. I believe it goes like this. We admitted we were powerless and our lives have become unmanageable. I think it goes something like that. So I've been reflecting a lot on powerless and unmanageability, and I've got some stressors in my life right now that could align with that. And I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict, I'm codependent. I have an addictive personality. I like to start things and never stop. I like more results right now. I'm all the things that have to do with addiction. But I'm a sober alcoholic now. I'm emotionally sober. I'm working on emotional availability. I'm deep in my recovery, and I've been very consistent with my recovery ever since I quit. Not everybody does that, but for me, I just saw what's the fastest way to get through this. It's going to be hard and suck, and I don't want to waste any time. So I kind of took the straight and narrow path, and I just wanted to cut through the mountain. And so I heard the instructions, do all the things. And so I did all the things, and I still do all the things. So I'm still sober today and in recovery due to the 12-step programs that I have been attending. As an alcoholic, as a codependent, as someone that's in recovery, my drug of choice is alcohol. And some people might think that alcohol is not a drug, but it is a drug. And I know this because when I was sober, I think it was my year 2 or 1.5, I'd just gotten past my first year cake. And I used to go get my nails done, but my nail lady would always put booze in my drink. And I used to love that. And so I'd go there and get my nails done and get boozed up. And because I'm an alcoholic, I used to do everything with alcohol. But I used to do that. And so anyways, I'd been sober for over a year. Not a single puff or drag or drink of any kind that I'd never done that since I was a teenager. And anyways, she just assumed that I was still drinking. It's not like I went out everywhere and told everybody I was an alcoholic. I don't mind telling people that, but I just didn't inform my nail lady that I was an alcoholic. So she put some booze in my coffee, and I barely tasted it. So I'm sitting in my nail salon chair and getting my nails done. And all of a sudden, I am just experiencing an euphoric, all of a sudden I'm lifted, and I'm just like, man, life is really good. Like, I'm here. I feel so grateful. This is so awesome. And I was almost above myself. Like, I was in a different state. I actually felt myself move into a different state. And this is because I was stone cold sober. And I go into this state and I'm like, I'm there and I'm enjoying myself, and it's euphoric. And I'm thinking, this is too good to be true. And so I'm thinking, how did I get here? And then I'm in the chair and I'm just like, oh my God, she put booze in my drink. And I was like stunned, and I was freaked out because I'm an alcoholic. I'm in sobriety. I'm in recovery. So I'm freaked out because I'm like, I'm not supposed to drink. So I'm like, oh my God, like, what's in there? And she holds up the Bailey's bottle, and she goes, oh yeah, I give you like you like. And like, I make a good coffee. And so I was like, oh my God, like, I'm drinking. So I freak out in my mind, and I'm freaking out, and I'm like, no. Like, I like super quit. Like, I don't drink anymore. I don't want to drink. Like, can't do that. Can't have that. And so she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was a little worried, and I called my sponsor right away because, I could have relapsed. Like, I had the taste of alcohol for the first time in a pure form of sobriety. And I actually think my higher power gave me this experience as a gift to know what alcohol feels like on a clean slate. And thank God I had good recovery, because if I wasn't spiritually fit, if I wasn't connected, if I wasn't doing a good program, that could have thrown me off. Like, I could have lost my sobriety. I could have lost my kids. I could have lost my life. Like, as an alcoholic, I'm at high risk of screwing my life up, and I'm in building mode. I'm learning how to live sober. I'm learning how to get better. And so I call my sponsor, and I felt a little guilty, like it was my fault, but it's not my fault. It just sort of like, this is just like, this happened. I had to deal with it. So I had to use my tools. So I call my sponsor. I'm a little freaked out. She's like, "You okay? Should I come down there? What do you want to do?" And I did have enough maybe faith or trust in myself at that time. I felt secure enough to be like, I think I can walk out of here and not go to a liquor store. And so I finished my session, my nail session, and I drank some water, and I didn't really like the feeling as much anymore. Like, when I was euphoric and in that state, it was all fine until I realized. And then when I was feeling the alcohol, I did feel a little bit trapped. And I was like, because now I'm in that till it's over. And so I felt actually a bit trapped, and I did want it to be over. And so I was stuck feeling that, just like the slightest intoxication. Like, I think because I was so sober, it obviously felt more intense because I had no tolerance for alcohol anymore. And it was intense in a way, because it was so new. It was like I really experienced alcohol as a drug. Like, it actually changed me and altered my mind. And I had heard that alcohol was a drug, but I didn't believe that alcohol was a drug. So to experience this in its truest form as a sober person, it just really confirms that alcohol is mind altering. And if I'm in a mind altered state, I'm not really true. It's not my honest mind. I'm not clear. I'm feeling good. I'm in a feeling good state. So how am I really thinking when I'm just in a feeling good state? It kind of distorts the rest of, like, I'm going to look at life differently when I'm in that euphoric state, because that's not reality. In that cloud, making choices and judgment isn't reality. But when I'm drinking, I like everything better. I can cope better. I can look at the world in a better way. I can have excuses. I can be in denial. I have control over that high. I can just have that high whenever I want. It gives me a sense of power. It is a higher power. I get to be the higher power. I get to basically be unfeeling and unaccountable and in control. Like, so this experience that I had, I'm really grateful for, because it just showed me like how alcohol is a drug. And so I stayed sober since then, since that experience. But I think that I wouldn't appreciate the power of alcohol if I didn't have that experience. I always drank way too much in the beginning. So I didn't really just have a few drinks and, oh, that's what alcohol is. I always went and, like, when I first started drinking, I got blasted and fall down drunk. And then I just thought that was the way you drank. And I just continued to drink like that when I drank. So I never really had that straight sobriety of like, oh, I'm this and I'm going to that. Like, I just was a young person and went straight into like boozing so hard that I was puking later. Like, it wasn't a true experience. And I was so young and naive and ignorant to everything. I wasn't focused on how am I feeling, what's my state of mind right now. Not like I am as an adult who's middle-aged. So D.O.C, drug of choice, mine is alcohol. I used to pair that with cocaine, and then I used to also just do all the other drugs for a time. I did that for about 10 years, maybe less. I paired drinking and drugging together for a long time. And I think I saw the path of the cocaine, and this was about, 10 years ago. Like, I think I saw that I might not come back from this. You know, it was so much more expensive. The drive to get it, the work to get it was so much more intense, and it was so much more riskier. And I liked it so much. And so I was trying to keep up with that challenge of getting more. And I think I just saw that I'm going to have to give up even more to get that. And so I think I just, at the age of 27, I just said, I'm going to have to quit all blow, but I'll just do drinking. So as an addict, I'm sitting here justifying my drugs, and I choose my favorite drug, which is alcohol. And it's easier to do alcohol because it's everywhere and it's socially acceptable. So I continued to drink, and just because I quit blow didn't mean that I wasn't an addict anymore. Just literally, I think I quit because I couldn't afford it as much anymore. And I didn't like that I needed the blow every time I drank. So it kind of interfered with a lot of social stuff. And then once I was doing blow for 3 days. So I was like, well, this isn't, how am I going to work to get my blow, to do some more blow, and then going to need to drink? Like, I just couldn't sustain it. So, and that fear of not being able to come back. So I quit that, and I continued with drinking, and my drinking picked up over the next 10 years. And then that took over. And I have an addictive personality, and I even noticed that about myself even a bit in high school, that I knew that when I start things, when I like things, I don't like to quit things, and I just want more of it. And so that I was thirsty early, and I did hold off on that for a long time, like at least till 21. And then I just pressed the F it button. But again, my drinking caught up with me, and I do believe that alcohol is a drug, and my drug of choice, that is what that is. And so if I want to be sober, if I want all of the gifts from sobriety, all the gifts from 12-step programs, I can't do anything mind-altering to get that growth and change that the programs offer. Sober is sober. Alcohol is a drug. Even though it's legal, it doesn't mean it's not a drug. It is changing. It did change me. My mind, I'm not the person I was when I was drinking. I wouldn't make the same decisions like as a sober person today. And if say I drank today, like I would make different decisions. I would show up as a different person. I really wouldn't be who I am. And when I'm actually sober and healthy and conscious, I am who I am. I have control over myself. I am free. I make really good decisions. I provide for myself. I work for myself. I support myself. My priorities are healthy and in order. And when I'm drinking takes priority. Drinking changes my mind. And then I'm throwing my trust off because I'm out of balance. So I stay really consistent with myself because I'm sober. And being sober, I don't wish to return back to that life, but I had to really give up alcohol for a while for me to realize that. Like I didn't really believe that in the beginning. But back to, so giving up alcohol means that is the step that you do 100%. They said, quit drinking. It's the step you need to do perfect. And the others are kind of guidelines that you should do. So I was like, okay, I'll do that one perfect, and then I'll work all the rest of the steps one at a time, in one after the other. So I really meant that when I did that. And and when I had that coffee drink that had alcohol in it after being sober, it did freak me out a little bit. And I did get a little angry because it was a little tempting. Like having to, tasting that alcohol was like spirit water. Like I did like it, but I'm grateful I had recovery at the time. But I think if I wasn't in such a strong state, I could have totally relapsed, and it would have been that quick. Like it would have been that quick. Like it was so like I could just go out and get alcohol. Like one decision. So yeah, I believe that alcohol is mind altering, and step 100%, I've done step 100%, except for that one time that there was booze in my coffee. And I worked through the other steps. But, I am powerless without a program. I believe that I am an alcoholic. I admit that. And my life was unmanageable with alcohol. And I wanted to have a manageable life. I didn't want to be controlled by the drink, controlled by the spending of it, controlled by everything I needed to do to get it. That was exhausting, and the chase of that was brutal. So I am powerless, but because I work a program, I lived through that day. I lived through that moment, and I'm glad to not have alcohol anymore in my life. And if I'm going to work a step, even in my life, like I live and work the steps, when there is a situation in my life that gets too big for me, like for instance, I'm powerless over one of my family members drinking. Like I can't sit there and think and dwell on it and think that if I think about it a lot and ask him to quit, that it's going to happen. I have to give that away. I have to turn that over to my higher power. That is a way that I can work my step one. I'm not his higher power. He has a higher power. Another situation that I'm powerless over is my own drinking. My sister is non-responsive in a hospital bed right now. Like, I'm powerless over that. There's big things in my life I'm powerless over. I'm powerless over my ex. I want him to change. He's not going to change. I'm powerless over that. But I'm really, really addicted to wanting that change for him because I'm selfish, right? I have a problem with accepting things. I can't just accept it. I'm powerless over people, places, and things. And I constantly have to remind myself that. I'm just someone that has control issues, and I'm an addict. And I have to remind myself that and do 12-step programs. This is the way I stay sober, is I stay close to these principles and I work them. And step 1, 100% perfect. So far, it's going that way. And I owe my life to 12-step programs and all of the things I got from that, like the spirituality, the fellowship, and all the healing that I've gotten to do through those programs. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that. So you guys know my D.O.C. And you know what? Actually, I can add a little more. Another thing besides substance abuse is this comes up a lot. is picking up behaviors are harder than picking up a drink. So like, if I'm not feeling okay, I can go straight to anger. That's my go-to behavior. But that's a form of picking up. Maybe sex is a form of picking up. Like maybe I'm not feeling good about something, so I go do that. Like maybe I go work out and I'm working out all the time, so I'm not feeling. That's a form of picking up. If I have to check myself and check my feelings first and check my motives. So it's like, what's my motives? What's my feelings? Why am I picking up? And am I picking up for the right reasons? So when my, like, because my sister is in a state right now, the last few weeks have been tough because I'm noticing like, I want to spend more money. I want to work out more. I want to, maybe hang out with toxic people more that I know are not good for me because I need to feel good. And I have to talk to my sponsor and check myself because I'm actually grieving and I'm actually struggling with how powerless I am over my sister's condition, how powerless I am over my family members drinking. And this powerlessness is really hard to deal with. And I'm facing it every single day because it sucks to be powerless. But I have to ask my higher power to take it away. I have to turn it over. And I have to admit that, yeah, these feelings are happening. I'm affected by these situations. But if I'm picking up and I'm trying to do something, why am I doing that? Why am I feeling the feelings that I'm feeling? Am I doing that to not feel what I'm feeling? Like that's step one work there. So it's been a tough week and few weeks, and working on just the feeling powerless is brutal because I feel so useless and helpless and hopeless in a situation, and I wish it could be better, and there's nothing I can do. I wish better for people, but they're not I don't have control over them. And as someone with control issues, that's always bothered me. I want to get in, I want to change, I want to help, I want to make it better because I don't want to feel how uncomfortable it is to see someone like that or to see someone hurt themselves and just have a slow death. Like it's uncomfortable to feel that. I'm very sad. I'm very sad about it. And feeling powerless is just a brutal thing to feel. But I'm trying to not act on it. I'm trying not to pick up unhealthy behaviors to cope is basically what I'm trying to say. So I'm checking my motives a bit more when I'm in situations that really pull on my heartstrings, whether it's like a breakup or someone dying or someone says something that wasn't too nice, like I'm powerless over that and my feelings are out of control. So I really got to check myself. And yeah, that's just some of my stuff on step one and how alcohol is a drug. And I used to love all that and didn't want to give it up, but I also was suffering a lot. So I did give it up. It is worth it. So thank you for being here and thank you for listening. And I hope to see you at the next one. Okay, bye.